Tell me about the bike ride yesterday.
Oh, the bike ride yesterday was great. Quite the adventure. Beautiful scenery, well organized. So I recommend it for anybody.
Cool.
Yeah, it was excellent.
Where are you from in the world?
I'm from the United States.
Yeah.
At the moment, Kentucky.
And why did you come to Portugal?
Oh, well, it's something I've always wanted to do, and it was just an opportunity for a great adventure. Actually, I saw it on an Instagram message from you, I think, and somewhere along the way I got interested in Portugal, and so it was a great time to do it.
Cool. And what do you think of Portugal thus far?
Oh, I love it. It's beautiful.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah, it's enchanting. Yeah, really, really and truly it is. It's brilliant.
And Niagara on the Lake here up in Canada, and we go for a bike trip every year. And my wife and I saw this advertised. Going to the Camino has been on my bucket list for many years, and she found this trip to our liking because of my advanced age. Walking is not appropriate. So we're very, very happy to be part of this.
Cool. What's been your favorite part of the trip thus far?
Well, there's some awfully nice people in the group. The hotels we're staying in are fantastic. The food is great. The bicycles are excellent, and the view is unbelievable up and down the Atlantic coast like this. The castles, the homes, the villages. It's all rather spectacular.
My name is Gordon Davies.
Yeah.
I'm from Warminster in Wiltshire of England.
Yeah. Have you ever been to Portugal before?
No,
How would you describe it to someone who's never been here before?
it's very hot.
Yeah.
The wine is lovely. The food is fantastic. I've had a great time. And some of the architecture is very good. But once you get through and you've got that land smell, that smell of plants, fresh plants, things of this nature, and the trails and that views, well, waterfalls are fantastic today.
Yeah.
Couldn't get better than that. But I've had a fantastic time. I'm absolutely soaking wet in sweat.
Okay, Barney. So, why you are doing the Camino? Are you enjoying it? Your expectations?
Yeah, El Camino has been great. Top Bike Tour has been spectacular. They make it really easy to go from spot to spot. The terrain is diverse, it's fun, it's adventurous, and I think anybody should absolutely sign up for this trip.
Okay, thank you for your contribution.
You're welcome.
Bye bye. So, John, why you decide to do the Camino? Are you enjoying your expectations?
This is way beyond my expectations. This is the best, I think arguably the best bike trip I've ever been on. Great people, great leadership, great hotels. I can't say enough about it. It's just a really good time.
Okay, thank you for your contribution.
You will.
Okay, Sean, why you decide to do the Camino? Are you enjoying it? Your expectations?
Oh, it far exceeds my expectations. It's great. Seeing parts of Spain and Portugal that you would never see in a train. The bicycle is the way to see it, and walking's too slow, so the bicycle is the best way. One of the best trips ever I've had. And
Okay.
lots of good food, lots of good people, and lots of good drinks.
Very good. Thank you for your contribution.
Muchas gracias.
Why you are doing the Camino? Your expectations? Are you enjoying it?
I am definitely enjoying this. The reason why I'm doing this is, number one, I was invited by my friend Carolyn, and number two, I'm doing this in memory of my late wife, who was a very spiritual and lived her faith. So for me, I am accomplishing a lot with a group of fine people, and Sergio, Piero, and Berto.
Okay. Thank you very much for your contribution.
You are welcome, and thank you for providing us with this wonderful experience.
Thank you. So Joe, why you decide to do the Camino route, and for your experience, what is the compare it to the French Camino?
So I did this because I had done the French Camino and I loved it. It was my most memorable trip. This is a little bit different because we went along the water, which was beautiful. And this is much more guided than the last one. My last one, we were always looking at maps and trying to figure out where to go and spend a lot of time getting lost, where here the guides are always there, which is fabulous. So we can relax and focus on just enjoying the ride.
Thank you. So Marianne, you are here like in family. Why you decide to do the Camino? And are you enjoying it?
Yes, enjoying it so much. Originally we were going to go on a safari, but that got canceled, so we decided to do a family trip with my mother and my aunt. She found it, and it's been awesome. Sergio and Telmo have been great, and the biking has been fabulous.
Okay, thank you. So Christina, why you choose to do the Camino? Are you enjoying the route?
I'm absolutely enjoying the Camino. This tour has been amazing. The scenery is spectacular. The food is delicious. Sergio's taken amazing care of us. And I did this trip kind of to, I don't know, put some fire in my marriage.
Thank you. Okay, John. So, are you enjoying the trip?
Hell yeah. I'm more than enjoying. I mean, I get worried. I don't want to go home. I like it. I want to stay in your trip forever. You should make them longer. You make them 20 days, I stay. It's so much fun. You make friends for life, right? You go all the good places, the cultural education, like the fado and the fruit, that weird fruit brandy that they're inventing, the wine tasting, and the cheese factory, and then all the beautiful coastline. This is the Vicente Coast, is a beautiful coastline. We're on the farthest western point of Portugal.
Okay. Want to say more things?
Yeah, I want to say more. We make friends for life. Everybody, we're laughing and singing, having so much fun. I came as single occupancy, my room, and everybody's friendly. I don't know, we just get along. It's just fun, you know. We're sitting it did rain today, but we're all laughing and singing in the rain. My shoes are still wet, but it's warm. The whole thing about the trips, they're all warm, so you don't worry about being wet when it rains. This not always raining though, so I'll take it. Doesn't matter.
It's not the same thing. Okay, thank you for your contribute. So Karen, why you decide to do this bike tour? Are you enjoying it?
I am enjoying it. We decided to do this bike tour because we've done bike tours with big bike companies and we wanted to experience a smaller, more personal tour with a local guide. I feel that you and Telmo have really given us a slice of Portuguese life this week, and yeah, the group has been great. We've been doing a lot of laughing and a lot of singing and just enjoying ourselves.
Okay, thank you for your contribute. Okay, Cheryl. So, are you enjoying the route, the trip, scenery, group? Give me your opinion.
Always. This is our third tour with Top Bikes, Sergio and his crew. And we've done over 10 tours in the last 2 years. They are Top Bike tours. This is why we keep coming back. Nicely done, well organized, and they take care of us. They treat us well.
Okay.
Always.
Thank you. Thanks for your contribute. So Eric, this is your first experience doing a guided bike tour. Are you enjoying your expectations? Tell me.
I can, on behalf of Christine and I can honestly say we have enjoyed it thoroughly. We need to work a little bit better on our training and that type of thing to ride some of the hills and whatnot, but the days and the rooms and the meals and the sights, all fantastic. It's certainly our intent to go on more bicycle tours.
Okay.
We're very happy with the first one.
Very good. Thank you for your contribute.
Yeah.
Hello, Darren Alf here from BicycleTouringPro.com. Today is the first day of the Silver Coast Bike Tour here in Porto, Portugal with Top Bike Tours Portugal. Yesterday was the first day of the tour, but it was a non-cycling day, whereas today is the actual first day of cycling on this bike tour. So I think everybody's nerves are a little high just because we don't know what's going to happen. We don't know the speed at which we're going to ride. We don't know what the roads or trails are going to be like because this is a new place for pretty much all of us. I have been to Portugal before, but I've never done this route before, so even I don't have any idea what we're going to come across. So yesterday was a very good day, however. We didn't cycle yesterday, but we did all meet for the very first time. We had our first orientation meeting, which was basically where we just met the tour leaders. We met the other people on the tour, and we also got kind of like an information packet and learned about what the bike tour is going to be like, how far we're going to be riding each day, what we can kind of expect, that sort of thing. Then we got fitted on our rental bikes. Nobody here brought their own bicycle on this particular bike tour. We're all using bikes provided by the company. So we got fitted on our bikes, we adjusted the seat and the handlebars. Some people put on like their own SPD pedals and mirrors and things like that. Then we went on a 2-hour walking tour of Porto, Portugal, which was very interesting. It's a very beautiful and walkable city, and I'm kind of surprised more people don't come to Porto or even know about Porto, frankly, because I've been here 3 times myself. This is my 3rd time in Porto, and every time I come here I like it more. So we went on this walking tour. Then we went to a winery that's located here in town and kind of got a tour of the place and learned how their wines are made, and we tasted some wines ourselves. And then finally last night we all went out to dinner at one of the restaurants down by the water. And it was kind of a great way to conclude the night and also to further get to know each other, because we are in fact kind of all still getting to know each other. There are a few couples here or a couple of friends that are together, but for the most part there's a group I think of 12 of us total. So there's a few singles and a few doubles, and together we form 12 total people. So there's 12 total people on this bike tour as well as 2 tour leaders. So that was yesterday. Today we had breakfast. I just went down to breakfast and grabbed a quick meal. I was, of course, the last person down there. I'm such a lazy head. Everyone was up before me. And now we've all run back to our hotel rooms, myself included, and we're packing up and preparing for the day. So that's what I'm going to do right now. I'm going to stuff my bag really quickly with all of my things. Then I'm going to run down to the van. One of the great things about this bike tour is you don't have to carry all your stuff on your bicycle as you're riding each day. So I am going to put all of my things, basically like my toiletries and my clothes, and I have my computer and stuff with me. I'm not going to carry any of that on my bicycle. I'm just going to bring it down to the van. They're going to transport it to the next hotel for me, so that when I arrive at that hotel later today, all of my things are waiting for me. And I basically only have to carry a few things on my bicycle: my camera, my wallet, maybe a rain jacket just in case, but we aren't going to need that today because it's a beautiful day. So, got to pack up, run downstairs, and make sure I'm not the last one down there. Okay, here we go. Day 1, the first day of cycling on the Silver Coast Bike Tour with Top Bike Tours Portugal. Here we go.
I'm Barb, and I'm from Gillette, Wyoming, United States.
And where are we right now?
We are in Porto, Portugal. On the beach.
Yeah, participating in the Silver Coast Bike Tour.
In the Silver Coast Bike Tour.
Yeah, and how did you find out about this tour?
On your blog. One of my friends read it and said, hey, let's go.
And have you been to Portugal before?
Never been to Portugal before.
Yeah, what are you expecting to see? We're on the first day of the trip here.
I'm expecting to see lots of water and green. And other than that, I have no idea.
Yeah. So we've just started cycling, but yesterday we did a walking tour and a whole bunch of other things. I don't know, what's been your favorite part thus far?
Oh, goodness. I loved the train station that had all the blue tile, and having dinner along the Porto River was really lots of fun, and the guide was fabulous with his historical knowledge. I loved that.
What's your name and where are you from?
Herb Farrell from Kitchener, Ontario, Canada.
Cool. And where are we right now?
Where are we? We're in Portugal, of course. I don't know where we are.
You were.
Well, we started in Porto. I don't know where we are like this moment, but.
And what are we doing?
We're on a cycling tour.
Yeah. And how did you find out about this trip?
Oh, I watched one of your videos. I watched the Santiago video last year that you did. Maybe you did it a couple of years ago, but I found it last year, and you extended an invite, and I thought about it, and it just seemed like that would be a great thing to do. So here we are.
That's awesome. And you've never been to Portugal before?
Nope.
What do you think of it thus far?
Absolutely love it. It's everything I imagined it would be. I mean, I kind of started thinking about this trip last November, like almost a year ago. So it's been fantastic because it's given me something to look forward to for the whole year.
Yeah. And did you come on the trip by yourself?
No, I brought a friend of mine.
That's cool. And how did you convince him to come along?
Well, I just sent him your video. I said, check this out, see what you think. And you know, he's a bit of a skeptic and did all his research, and once he was convinced, then we booked it.
We're about 24 hours or so into the trip. We had yesterday kind of walking tour, and now we're just getting started with the cycling. How has it been thus far?
Oh, it's pretty much everything I imagined and more. It was a great weather, the temperature's great. I'm delighted by how good the bikes are. I you know, had a bit of a ride in Italy last year, like just a day trip, and you know, the bike was clicking and clacking, but boy, the bike I have here runs as smooth as could be, so I'm really delighted with that.
Great. Is there anything in particular about this trip that you're looking forward to?
Just every minute of it. I mean, my wife's going to join me after the trip, and we're going to go on for another part of our vacation, but this is just step one. I'm not in a hurry to get through it. I just want to enjoy every minute.
Okay. Anything else you want to say?
Just thanks for extending the invitation, because you know, this is a pretty neat thing to do.
Yeah.
And it comes from just having watched your videos. You know, you have developed a little bit of a trust in watching somebody, so it made it feel comfortable to come, and it's not disappointing. It's been everything I hoped it would be. You set a good expectation with that other video, and it's been playing out pretty much in a very similar manner. It's not on the same trip exactly, but it was Portugal, so delighted to be here.
So, we're going to stop here because this is a very nice chapel of the area if you want to take a look, and also, of course, if you want to go to the toilet or a coffee. If you were Portuguese, you would want a coffee right now.
What's your name?
My name is Enrique.
And?
Harder to pronounce for Americans, but
Enrique.
Yeah, you can try like the Spanish. Enrique.
Yeah, Enrique. And who are you?
Well, I am currently working with Sergio, which is actually over there, and we are for quite some time actually doing these cycling holidays.
Yeah, so you're leading the tour.
Yeah,
here.
basically.
Cool. And where are we going? What is this tour like?
The destination is Coimbra, which is like more or less in the middle of Porto and Lisbon, and we're going to take 5 days to get there. So we're going to pass nowadays in Espinho, it's where we're going to stay. Tomorrow Aveiro, which is known as the Venice of Portugal, is actually a nice city. And then Mira, smaller town, Figueira da Foz, which will be our last coast city. And then we go back to the inside to Coimbra, which is known as the student city of Portugal. Yeah, so it's a 5-day tour, and it's actually a nice one. You will like it.
And how old is like the average person that goes on a trip like this, and like how experienced are they? Do you have to be like a racer?
No. This is a very nice one because it's pretty much flat all the way, and only the 4th day is that you have actual hill, which is a nice challenge, at least for some change in terms of elevation. But most of the way is actually quite nice, a very nice scenery, and pretty much flat all the way.
Great. And what do you think is unique about Portugal? Like, why should people come here?
Portugal, I would say that's almost self-explanatory, boosting the ego of the country. But actually, Portugal is quite in vogue right now. If I were to tell my opinion, actually, I'm more of a nature guy, and nature generally tends to be more to the interior. Of course, you here have a lot of nature part, but what I mean by nature is here you have like portions of like 10 kilometers, 15 kilometers where you go, for example, through the woods, like you will do tomorrow, for example. But Portugal has a lot of different things to offer. So you have nature if you go inside. The other day there was a couple that were looking, for example, for kayaking. You also have that kind of opportunities here. And then the coastal side, it's packed with fishing villages, which is always very interesting for outsiders. And now they have, for quite a long time already, a cycling path through most of the coast of the country, which of course helps a lot for people to bike throughout all of those fishing villages and those small woods, which is so the country actually has a lot to offer, especially in food.
Yeah.
Food is something that people always talk about when they come here. Yeah, both fish, meats. Well, vegetarians always have a little bit more of a trouble to actually find I would say a lot of dishes, dish choices, and you experience that.
But what is like the traditional what's the food? What is like something that we can expect here on the coast?
In terms of fish, you'd see arroz de marisco, what the Spanish call paella. Probably people know more from that name. You have codfish, which is always actually several dishes of codfish is something you can always expect. And then through the coast, generally all kinds of seafood, you would be actually able to see it. But I would say codfish is a very common dish, literally everywhere. And the paella, arroz de marisco as we call it, you can also see a lot of places that are offering that. Yeah.
What is that?
That is actually something we're going to try at lunch. It's literally rice, a very wet rice with seafood, lots of seafood. It can vary from restaurant to restaurant what they actually put there, but it can go from mussels or shrimps, as you call them, I think. It can go from oysters, and then I'm trying to think of the names in English, honestly. But you have a lot of a variance of different seafood that it's basically a mix of different seafood with rice.
What are your names and where are you from?
Jan.
And Steve. We're from Connecticut in the U.S.
U.S. And how did you find out about this bike tour?
Through your website.
Through your website, Bicycle Touring Pro.
Have you been to Portugal before?
No.
Never.
What did you expect, if anything? Did you have expectations?
Yeah, I expect to just have a great time.
Okay.
You know, along the shore.
Yeah. And how do you have the time to do this? There's a story there, isn't there?
Yes, well, Jan retired a little over a year ago, and I retired a little over a week ago. So we thought that this would be a nice opportunity to go on our first adventure after retirement, and so here we are.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
And like what about bike trip? Like a lot of people go on holiday, but they don't go on a bike trip. You know, like they just sit on the beach.
Yeah.
And why did you choose to do this?
Because we just love cycling.
Yeah.
You know.
And it's a healthy lifestyle. You know, when we were younger, we sat on the beach.
Yes.
But the older you get, the more you know, you think about time and everything, and it's very good to keep in shape the best you can, and cycling is an excellent way to get off the couch and do it.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. What about the trip so far have you enjoyed?
I think the culture, I've been to different places in Europe, and the culture here is really laid back. We've been in Porto, and the city is clean, a lot of history, and of course the people on the tour are very friendly. It's a good group.
Yes, it's an excellent group. Excellent group of
My name is Patrick Sneederjohn. I'm from Grand Junction, Colorado, and We've done all of our bicycling for the day, and we're waiting for a boat ride here in Aveiro.
Yeah, that's great.
It's called the Venice of Portugal, I understand. So I look forward to that.
How did you find out about this bike tour?
Well, I've followed your videos for several years, and noticed last fall that you mentioned that you were going to be doing this tour, and I did a little exploring myself and had good experience on a previous type tour, and decided back then to do it, and contacted Sergio, the head of the company, and started the planning process.
That's cool. Have you ever done a bike tour like this before?
Yes, my son and I did a tour in Norway in July of 2017, and that was also inspired by some of your videos of your own trip through Norway. And we enjoyed it immensely, and that's another reason why I signed on to this one.
That's cool. Your son isn't on this trip with us. But
yeah, he couldn't make it because of his work schedule.
Yeah, did you have hesitations at all coming alone, or were you?
No. I'd been to Europe on my own before and had good experiences. So, and I knew this was a group and a group activity and very well organized, and so I was very confident about it.
What's your name and where are you from?
I'm Diane, and I'm from Sydney, Australia, one of the only Aussies on this trip.
Yeah. And how did you hear about this bike tour in Portugal?
Well, I actually booked my tour through a company called tripsite.com, and they have many cycling trips around the world, really. So I really went for a recommendation from them. They really highly regarded it, so took them on board, and here I am. I did one last week. I did the Camino trek up to Santiago from Porto, and this week doing the Porto to Coimbra.
That's great. And why Portugal of all places?
I probably was encouraged because I was thinking it was a good time of year with looking at the beaches. I was thinking coastal riding would be good at this time of year. And I come from Australia, and apparently Australia and Portuguese beaches are very similar, which is what I have found actually as well. Yeah. The thing about both the tours I've done is the surfaces we're riding on. We go from cobblestone to boardwalk to asphalt, to dirt and rock and bits of sand, and I love that variety. I reckon that's really a highlight for me, because at home I only have bitumen.
How would you describe Portugal to someone who's never been here before?
Well, it's unique in that I think it hasn't got too caught up in the touristy. Once you move out of the cities, it feels like you're just in someone's backyard. And that's why I like these tours, so that you can get out of the cities, because often you get caught up in all the tourism traps of the big cities. But of course that's where you see the history of the people as well, because that's what they're selling to the world. Yeah.
What about the food and lodging on this trip?
Food and lodging is absolutely brilliant. That would be, actually the food has been absolutely beautiful. We've eaten way too much, but every single meal has been amazing. Sergio has done a terrific job. I just think he runs a great outfit here. Nothing is too much trouble, and he's always selecting great restaurants, and our accommodation has been, top class. Okay. Really good.
I'm Beth Burnson from Gillette, Wyoming.
And I'm her husband, Jim, from Gillette.
Yeah. And we're on a bike tour in Portugal. How did you find out about this bike tour?
Through your website.
Have you been to Portugal before?
Nope.
No.
This is our first time.
Oh, that's cool. What made you want to do this?
Well, I enjoy bike packing. I've done a few trips. And last year we did a trip with some friends. There were 6 of us. And so we wanted to do some more.
And I said, okay, we'll give it a try.
Have you done a bike tour like this before?
No, we've never
No.
done a guided tour before.
So it was, I think in January, I was looking at one of your videos, and I said, and I saw that you had a trip in Portugal, so I said to Beth, hey, let's go bike with Darren in Portugal. And I was kind of surprised. Beth said right away, sure, I'll do it. So
I did.
So we
honestly.
did it. Yeah.
That's cool. What's it been like thus far?
Oh, I've loved it. It's been fun.
I had no expectations coming into it, and it's been really, really great. It's been a good trip, and I would highly recommend people doing it. And the food, and the accommodations, it's been really great. What I really like is they do all the planning for you. You don't have to worry about who's in the lead or where your motels are, and lunch and how lunch is. Your choices that you're given for lunch, because you don't have to sit down at a restaurant and order from the menu and wait. It's already prepared, and you just go in and sit down and eat your lunch and then go again. And the coffee breaks.
Has there been a best moment? What's been your favorite moment of the trip?
Ooh, favorite moment.
I really enjoyed what we just did coming into this town here. Having well, we've been on some rough roads today, but some of it was really nice and smooth, and there's been virtually no traffic, and that's what bike touring people look for, is
I've enjoyed
no traffic.
I've enjoyed the boardwalks, riding along the boardwalks and the sea right beside you, and that cathedral that we stopped at and went out to. That was on the coast.
Oh.
I forget the name of it. No.
If someone were thinking about doing this trip in the future, what advice or what would you tell them to, like, what should they know in advance? Anything?
I'd highly recommend it. In advance, pack some warm clothes or a combination of warm and hot clothes. Because like in the mornings, I had my rain gear on, and then within an hour, you're wanting to take it off. But a jacket, a light jacket to put on for cool down, and maybe layers. What would you?
I would say that if they hadn't done any bike touring, this would be a good place to start.
Yeah, definitely.
It's scenic, and you're well taken care of.
Because even last night, I was looking for other bike tours for 2020.
My name's Dave Kirsch from Gillette, Wyoming. This is my wife, Beth.
And how did you hear about this bike tour?
We heard about the tour from our friend Jim and Beth Burnson, and we came on the trip with them.
That's cool. And have you been to Portugal before?
This is our first time in Portugal.
Yeah.
It's quite a different country than we're used to. Very amazing.
What did you have any expectations coming in?
I had no expectations because I hadn't done any research beforehand myself.
Yeah. And what kind of cycling experience do you have before this?
Just local around town mostly. No long trips.
Yeah, you've never done a bike tour.
Never done a bike tour before. This is all new. The countryside's been really, really great to see. A lot of ocean views, some farm country. It's really been interesting to go through the different country.
But today's the last day of the trip. How has it been like cycling with people you don't know for a whole week?
You know, we've been on tours before, and there's always some grumbling between the group. I have not heard it with this group. It's been the greatest group. I don't think we could go on another tour and get this group again.
Yeah.
They've been very
awesome.
good.
Yeah.
Everybody eats supper together, just like they're not tired of each other yet, so it's been really good.